I'd sure like to be anywhere but here. Being at home is boring. Let's try something. Transporter, energize.
What the? How the heck did I end up here? Huh. I guess my transporter does work. Cool. I ended up switching sides. Actually, my head was a little bit too low the other way, so I put my I woke up and then I flipped around and my head was at the other end, which made a huge difference. You've heard me talk about the barbecue roll in the past. Well, I did it about 3 times, and I actually slept on my stomach, so I was doing complete rolls. Usually in the winter it's like left, back, right, back, left, back, right. Whereas this time I was doing a complete roll, and the reason I can sleep on my stomach now is because I had my hands outside the sleeping bag and under my head, so it was a very pleasant sleep. Blue sky. Good. It's going to be a great day. 6:25, so not really any reason why. I mean, the tent is bone dry. Won't take long to pack, so all I'm going to do is boil some water. I might make a fire, I might not. Have a coffee and oatmeal and get on the road. I've got a great day of exploring ahead of me. And you want to make sure that there is no knots or nothing in the end, and pull it all the way down so nothing can get tangled. There. I've been rationing my food in little plastic bags like this since as long as I can remember, at least 25 years. And I remember doing a hike to a place called Mystery Lake with a guy named Dean Rogers, and Dean Rogers. And Dean, I remember he made kind of fun of me, you know, why would you do that? And then a couple of weeks later we went on a hike, and lo and behold, guess what? Dean had rationed all his food for that hike. And so I guess, what's the expression, when somebody copies you, being a case of flattery or something, I can't remember. Anyways, Mama had some nice flavored hot chocolates today, so I grabbed one of those and then one of these unflavored Nabob coffees. Good. That's enough for one more, but I don't have another coffee, so I'll have the other half of that hot chocolate. Oh. You don't got a spoon. You don't have a spoon, you can improvise. Cheers, people.
Sometimes you see something like this. So the illustrious beaver started chewing this tree, and then it fell and got tangled up, so he abandons it. He's pretty smart about that. Well, smart and not smart. And then I have no idea why he attempted this big guy. Some say that they chew just to... Some people say that their teeth of the beavers keep growing, so they'll chew a tree no matter what, just to wear down their teeth. Can somebody tell me what this stuff is called? It stinks, and I didn't even want to touch it. I think some people have allergic reactions to it, and I didn't want to take a chance, but it's all over the place, and it almost looks like a rhubarb plant, but I know it's not. When you cut it, it just releases a terrible odor. Give it a second or two, and I'll go get another bottle and finish it off. If you look carefully, I only came down this path once today, and you can see my path in the grass. You can see even which direction I'm traveling mostly, because you can see the plants have been laid out that way. Camp ring has been fixed, fires put out, weeds have been cut. Dead branches that could protrude have been fixed. I cut this and that, things that you could sit on and hurt yourself. So always leave the camp better than you found it. So when somebody comes here, this will be a nice camp for whoever shows up. I got my boots around my neck because I know that the first 300 yards from here I got to cross the creek, so might as well just walk over there in my Crocs and be ready. I'll cross the creek, fill up with some water for the next part of the journey. Although I'm following a creek, I shouldn't have any shortage of water, but definitely by the time I start climbing that wall, climbing is tiring and I'll want water. But I don't think there'll be any dry spots today, arid where there's no water. I'm pretty sure I'll have no problem finding water all day. 8:17, June 23rd. Good start. Oh, I could have bushwhacked this one probably. If I only crossed it once, that's not bad. Whoosh. Oh, way too cold for a morning start. There, hopefully I don't have to cross too many times. I'm going up there. I'm gonna walk in my Crocs just a little bit longer. See how many times I gotta cross this creek or this. This would have been a nice spot to camp. Nice fire ring, different kinds of trees. I'll put my boots back on. Tyson, by the way, I should have said something yesterday, but when I crossed the creek and I got these pants soaking wet, they were dry within like 15 minutes, no problem. Now I just noticed I got a hole in them from an ember, but the pants have served me well. Good pants. This camp's views are fantastic. The only drawback to this camp is there's no bench around the fire. So note to anyone who's considering coming here. So it's about, I'd say, 700 yards past the park boundary marker, maybe a little bit more. And if you're going to come here, bring a chair. Traveling through willows like this when it's wet in the morning early, you get soaking wet, but luckily they're bone dry today. So this is well, not a problem, but the creek comes through here and there's islands, and I'm just bushwhacking trying to stay dry, but what ends up happening is you kind of lose where the trail is. So the trail was up there. Yeah, that big guy. Seconds later, here's another one. You know you have a nice healthy ecosystem when you got frogs. Huh, he went into that hole. All right. The first half hour was tedious, but check this out. The views are going to improve dramatically in seconds. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. I gotta climb that wall. How? According to the map, I came here, I crossed the creek there, I gotta cross the creek down there. I came here, gotta cross the creek and go up the cliff on the other side of the creek, and then there's a lake at the top. Where the heck is the trail? So I've pointed out before, when you see something like this, that's because lots of people have stepped on this. That looks like a footprint. And there's a trail right there. Faint. See it? There. We're on a trail. Actually, I've re-intersected the trail right here formally. I don't mind bushwhacking, but I much prefer when I find something that's a defined trail. Once again, this sure looks like a trail, but very faint. I was over there. I'm gonna go straight up here and then cut across. Oh, that's why I do it. There's nobody here. When I come around the other side and drop down at Carnarvon Lake, there might be people there. They'll be sure surprised to see me. Nature's strong. I bushwhacked from there up this steep hill, and look at what I found. Almost at the top of this section. The trail goes along the side there and then loops up above. This must be a dead end. too solid. I could slip down. So I'm actually going to go back down and climb up there. Not taking a chance. Wow. Wow. Hill of the Flowers. Let's camp down there. That's Waring Creek Gap. Kind of a pass. 10 o'clock. Time for a good break. Hadn't had water all morning. Well, this was the part that worried me, but now it's past. And according to the map, I should have crossed the outlet of this lake, and the trail's right over there. So I remembered incorrectly, but it makes no difference. I got here regardless. I got a lot of climbing still ahead of me. I'm currently at about 2,000 meters. I got another 600-700 meters of climbing. It's weird to describe, but I'm sitting here now and it's peaceful. It's very quiet. And the thoughts are out of my head. I'm thinking about the fact that the nearest human being's probably at the parking lot, 12 kilometers that way, or maybe at Carnarvon Lake. It's 8-9 that way. But for the last hour while I was climbing, it was like chaotic in my head. There was, looking back on it, felt like it was noisy. There was the waterfall, but my brain was constantly working, thinking about where I was going, and perhaps dreading this part, the part that I just did. So it was really, it's weird to describe, but it felt like, looking back, like my brain was very noisy, and now it's very quiet again. But the noise will start again as I start climbing. So, pretty sure that's where I'm going, to the top of that thing, and then I'm going to come back down after. Here's the trail. Somebody had something there. Wow. This place just doesn't stop. Amazing. Wow. There's a cairn over there, but I've had bad luck with cairns lately. According to the topo, it is a gap right there. There's kind of a mound here on the topo. One trail goes that way and one trail goes through the gap and then turns up high. Once again, thank you to whoever cut these branches right there. So the trail's through here and exactly where I thought. That's why it's called a gap. Nice. I should be in BC soon. British Columbia. Alright, decision time. So I'm at the contours are going down, so I'm at 2250. 2700 is where I need to go, and it's all scree up and then down, and once I'm at the top I should see Carnarvon Lake. So this is where I commit myself. So either I go or I don't, and for sure I'm gonna go. I just need to make sure I got a good stretch of weather, because I get caught opened up on that side slope, on that scree. I'm at the mercy of the weather. Wider and bigger than you imagine, and as you climb it slowly, you just take it one step. Looks a lot less intimidating like that. Still intimidating. It's noon, so I'm going to take a break here and make some soup. And I got snow over there that I can melt. I don't have a lot of water here. Look at that, I'm like way on top of a mountain. And right in the rock is a fossil. Anybody knows exactly what those are, let me know. So the fact that we find fossils, look at where I am, and there's fossils here. And that's a seashell, like a mussel. And so this was once the bottom of an ocean that's been pushed up. I mean, you know, this was thousands, this ocean bottom is now, 7,000 feet above sea level. So it just shows the forces of nature and what change means, you know, climate change, all sorts of things. I mean, the wind patterns, global wind patterns are affected by these mountains, and these mountains are constantly moving, and you know, they're huge sinks for water, and then they evaporate, and then the water goes into the atmosphere, travels the world, comes back down here, you know, that decade later. So the world is full of cycles that have different speeds, you know. Rabbits multiply in a couple of years, lakes dehydrate and evaporate and rehydrate in decades, glaciers move back and forth in periods of 15,000 years, carbon is trapped and released, sulfur is trapped and released. The sulfur cycle is extremely slow. So, and all these things have different cycles. So you have things with 10-year cycles, 5-year cycles, 20,000-year cycle, 100,000-year cycle, magnetic field changes in the earth and things like that. I mean, I was looking at the map, and the map that I'm using says right there that the magnetic north is set in 2013 and changes by 12 minutes every year. Well, holy, that's a 10-year-old map, so I'm off by a degree, you know, that's a lot. Now, watch this. Mount Strachan, and I'm going up there, and then I'm going to go down. That doesn't look too bad. By the way, this is officially the Cardinal Divide, the Great Divide. So these waters are going to Alberta and down to the Gulf of Mexico or Hudson's Bay, and these waters are going to the Pacific. I think that's Mount Assiniboine over there. You can see the pond made by the beaver down there. Follow the river and then you see that black square. That's the pond made by the beaver where I was last night. From way down there, this crest or this ridge looks very skinny, but as you can see, it's actually pretty wide. But I'm gonna have to do a bit of these kind of stuff. But, well, this is officially mountain goat territory. Hope you guys love this one. Help it go viral. This was my most epic hike so far. I might be screwed. Shit. My destination is, that's Mount Strachan. I have to go down. I follow this trail down around that side of the Carnarvon Lake, on the back side. At a pretty good elevation, so I don't have a huge decrease to do today, but I might be snow snowbound. There's hope yet. Just got to walk to the end of that and hopefully it goes down easy. My heart's racing a little bit. I don't know if it's because I'm nervous about the heights or I'm just hoping that I get a way down without having to backtrack. Well, this is promising. It's actually going better than I expected. I'm halfway down. Where I was. Oh my God, I just got off that scree slope. There's no way, well, I should never say no way, but anybody who wants to do this, do not attempt it clockwise. It has to be counterclockwise. Climbing this would be grueling, absolutely grueling. My knees are sore. But I'm on grass now, and my next priority is I just want to find that creek down there and get me a big bottle of water. Wow, what an accomplishment. That was amazing. Totally amazing. So the lake is on the other side. I remember from the lake staring at that cliff there. And rather than go through the trees, first I got to go to the creek and get some water. Then I'm going to go up, around, and down. Come down that sort of golden color rock. Well, that's a bit of an obstacle. There's nothing easy about this hike. I've never seen a landscape like this one. This one's pretty cool. Do I go across straight that way? Or do I go down and follow the creek and hope that the trees aren't too thick? Through the trees. And finally. Well, that was a cool traverse, and now it's kind of like being back in civilization. There's a ton of people here. There's probably 3 groups at the campsite, so we'll find a spot. But shit, I got here just in time. Feel the rain, feel the love. Looks like I'll be eating under the awning tonight. It's gonna rain and get ugly.
Oh, I'm just relaxing in my tent. It's not even 5 o'clock, but I mean, today was badass. Like, that's all I can say. Today was badass. Like, I climbed up to 2,840 meters to summit Mount Muir and then came down on the other side. It was completely bonkers. Like, to look at it from the gap, it looks so intimidating, But it's one of those things, you just take it one step at a time, and you know, one false summit after another. And then when I got to the summit, I saw all that snow. Oh my God. I thought, oh, I don't want to go back down this. Not that I didn't want to go down, I didn't want to backtrack. And I was so relieved to find, well, to look at the map and to realize that all I had to do was follow that ridge south and then go down. And then the bushwhacking, the scenery was just changing every half hour. And then when I made that decision to cut through the trees at the end and then to come down by the creek and to hear voices, that's crazy. And then I get here to this lake and there's like 3 groups. So anyways, I'm just gonna relax a bit, stretch my legs, take some Advil, and then later on I'll go say hi to the neighbors and make supper.